Right, is it working now? Please tell me it's working now, because I don't know what I'm doing wrong at this point. Well, something's happening. Right, can everyone hear me? Am I coming out of both ears? I'd be happy with even one ear at this point. I was sitting there chatting to you guys for, I don't know, about 5-10 minutes, however long it was. And it didn't even realise I hadn't turned the microphone on or plugged it in. Brought it down, set it up, didn't plug it in. Well, the chat. Well, there are apparently people in chat. Okay, I have no idea what I'm doing wrong here. It seems like it's not working at all. Hello? Anybody there? Is this frozen again? Right, I will stop one more time. Well, I shouldn't be recording, that's probably slightly part of the problem. Right, I don't want to jinx it, but I think I might have it working this time. Hello everyone, Hellfreezer here, sorry about that. I was sitting chatting away to you guys. I didn't even twig you couldn't see me initially. I hadn't actually plugged the microphone in or even turned it on. But I think we're okay now. Possibly. If you can hear me, do let me know. And make sure you can hear me out of both speakers. Okay, I'm just... Well, something's going through there. I think we're okay. I may have lost all the chat, I'm not sure. I've got video. Well, everything looks okay there, so I'll just assume you can hear me until someone says otherwise. Or not. Well, it all looks okay, so I'll hold on and hope for the best. There's not really any way I can think of checking it. Unless I load it up on my phone to check it. Okay, maybe I'll just stop. This could have been a bad idea. It was a spur of the moment thing, but if it's not working, God knows how long it will take me to get it working. Says the sound's coming out there. says it's streaming. I'm seeing the stream. Try unmuting that, see if it does anything. No, that's all fine. Okay, I'm going to try once more. Okay, let's try this again. Are my technical problems over? Right. Can you hear me now? Nope, you clearly can't hear me now. Right, I have no idea what's wrong. You can hear me now. Okay, there we go. I have no idea what the hell was going on there. Apologise for the language. I started things up, and initially it was my fault. I was chatting away to you, not realising you couldn't hear me because I hadn't plugged a sod microphone in. And when eventually someone said, "Oh, we can't hear," I was, "Oh, right, of course I haven't plugged the microphone in." So I did that. Then I had to restart, and that didn't fix it. Then I realised I had to reselect the thing, so I did that. Then everything was set right and selected right, and it just wasn't working. So eventually I had to shut down OBS and refresh the page because I couldn't even see chat going by at that point. Okay. Everything seems to be working okay now. Where did I put my keyboard? There we are. Right, now, as I was trying to say earlier, I got done with work early, so I figured why not try a stream, since I have a little bit of time. Throat's not feeling too bad at the moment, so let's do a stream. This, for those who were asking, is indeed Charles Dickens. I thought, given the time of the year, given that he's the grandpappy of Christmas, do a bit of add a little splash of colour to this picture. I'll do a light clean up on it first. It's a little slightly ratty looking. As usual, I'm mostly here just so I can chat with you guys. This is just to have something pretty on the screen. So, yeah. I'll work away and I'll keep checking the chat. Sorry about all the restarts, by the way. You know what I'll do? Oscar, have you been riding lately? I briefly considered taking the bike out earlier because it wasn't looking too bad, but then I thought, I'll just go tomorrow and do my shopping. I'll need to get something for New Year's Day dinner. Don't know what yet. I'll need to get some more Volvic and things like that, so I'll do that tomorrow. I got lights for the bike a little while ago, so I could ride it at night, but the weather just hasn't been great for it. I'm wary of riding when it's icy or rainy. Right, so Control J, filter. Weird things are happening. Oh, that's fine. Silence them. Okay, that's better. Helps a little bit. Hi, Night Raven. I needed to come here after a patron at the museum I volunteer at berated me and called me incompetent. Made me damn near cry, and that's the first time I've been yelled at by a patron. What a rude person. Here's the thing, though, it's important to understand, it doesn't matter how well you do at your job, there's always going to be some... I'm trying to think of a nice way to say wanker. Anyway, going to be some wanker who'll never be happy. And frequently you find their cries of incompetence on your part are just because they're too dumb to understand what you're trying to explain to them. Or they're not getting their way exactly, even though you're doing their job. I have little doubt, Night Raven, that you probably did nothing wrong whatsoever. And if you've got a good boss, they will understand that customers are very angry, entitled people frequently, but you will get very nice ones. You'll probably find you've got your regulars. If not now, you'll find you'll get regulars, and those are the ones who kind of brighten your day. Johanna Bloomberg, you missed, let's just call them technical difficulties and incompetency on the part of me. What was I saying? Oh yes, I remember when I used to work retail. There was a guy that used to come in this store. He would grumble about the prices every time, but always in a jokey way. And he was a stark contrast to the people who actually would just come in to complain. And this guy, he was a big fella, you know, very loud, very brash, glasses. And he really liked it if you gave him a little crap in return. He'd be kind of disappointed or think something was wrong if you didn't. And I was always happy to see him. Always complained about the prices of whiskey, but he'd always end up walking out with a bottle of whiskey. Someone mentioned Aquaman. Aquaman does whatever Aqua can. Oh, that's something else, isn't it? Art by Nicole, you just sent who? You sent who a message on Facebook? If it's me, I'm probably not going to see it for a while. Hello, Heather Miller. Okay, I'm getting paranoid now. Make sure we're still broadcasting. Yes, we are. Right, I think that's shiny enough. Actually, what I will do is just right here. Oh, we stalled again. Okay, no, you can hear me. Okay, good. This is Charles Dickens. I was going to do a little on the eyes. I sometimes find when I do a noise reduction on an image, it kind of takes the sparkle out of the eye, so it's usually good to go back in when you've done it. There we go, you see that? There, the sparkly eyes. Marafrim, I will be on your side of the pond at the end of April. Well, I hope whatever you're doing, I'm assuming it's not stalking YouTube personalities, that you have fun. Apparently somebody's getting pooped on, fair enough. Melissa Perez, LOL. Talking about retail stories, I had a teen come through my line and ask for our queso, if our queso had any dairy in it. Like, does cheese come from a cow, my dude? Well, you can get vegan cheese. I've never tried it, but apparently you can. Is there a problem? Shrek, Mara Freeman, is there an issue between you two? Because her comment about complainers was actually addressed at you, bud. Charles Dickens, author of A Christmas Carol and many, many other things. Right, I think we can put a bit of colour on here now. Maybe I'll paint him green. Hello, Rochelle. This flu is relentless. I have to go. No, you have to rest. Health comes first. Well, I did do, for those who haven't heard it, I did do a reading of A Christmas Carol a few years ago. It's still on the channel if you're looking for something Christmassy to listen to. I'm so excited to be going back to Europe. Well, you see, that's the problem, Mara. If you're coming here in April, you're not coming to Europe, unfortunately. Bye bye, Rochelle. Hope you get better soon. A shout out to Houston. Planet Houston. Venikins art. Oh, which one did you get, Venikins? I did put a little bit of a shout out to the new Revenge's ice cream shirt on my latest video. And I did ask people to tell me if they don't like Redbubble, because I can switch over to another service if it sucks. Okie doke. Colour there. Start with the face. Now the hair here is going to be difficult because I think it's going to be kind of brown, but it's also got bits of grey in it. The black one with my icon. Okay, cool. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you, Venikins. Right, I've become paranoid now that every time I talk no one can hear me. Right, colour. There we go. We'll try this one to start with. Helps if I use a colour brush, not an eraser. Come on. Right, stop it. Behave. Right, flatten that. I've decided to RGB colour. From London, Amsterdam and Scotland. That's not Europe. Well, you may have heard of this Brexit nonsense, where they're trying to leave the European Union. If they're successful, I hope they aren't, because it'll be one of the worst decisions this country's ever made, then we will no longer be part of Europe. Hi Mary, how you doing? Like I say, we'll be no longer part of Europe, but the fact of the matter is the EU has said, hey, you know what, we love you guys. Yeah, this Article 50 nonsense with you leaving the EU, it's fine, forget about it, take it back any time, we'll pretend it didn't happen. So I'm hoping they'll eventually pull their heads out of their butts and realise what a bad decision it is. Then what will you be part of? A mess is what we'll be part of. part of ourselves, and unless Scotland holds another referendum and tries to separate again, because Scotland is not happy to be leaving the EU. We voted in favour of staying in, but we voted as the United Kingdom, so... Let me turn up the brightness on this tablet a wee bit. Oh, Michael Palin got knighted apparently. Hope it didn't hurt. That's probably why I saw him trending earlier. That's better. What was I doing there? Oh yes, I was going to set this to colour mode, because it's currently in grayscale. There we go. Now I can put colour on it. There we go. Yes, there we go. Okay, I can relax now. All the technical difficulties are behind us. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be streaming tonight, but I should be on for a little bit at least. Well, you see, that's the thing, Grey Warden. Most people in Britain don't consider themselves to be part of Europe. So if we no longer have that political affiliation, we will not likely consider ourselves part of Europe. We're not actually attached to Europe. Switzerland is. We're a little island on our own, and the only thing that actually kept that relationship was being part of the EU. I disagree with that particular mentality, but nobody listens to old Hellfreezer. Is Norway. I think I can... Well, I've shown Wikipedia on these streams before and it hasn't been a problem. No, we don't want... Oh, for heaven's sake, go away. That's what I'm trying to find. You silly. European Union. Actually, there should be a list of member states, surely. Big member states, there we go. Member states of the European Union. Norway. Yet. Norway is not. Who do we have? Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, Czechia? Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, and the United Kingdom. Why, how many? Yay, Finland mentioned. Was it? Oh yes, it was. I gotta be honest with you, I thought there were more member states in the EU. Oh well. Yes, Theresa May, in spite of the protests of the British people, invoked Article 50. Then shoved her head up her own butt. Right, sorry for the politics talk. I have feelings and they're mostly grumpy feelings, that's why I don't usually mention them. I think the idea is we're going to start our own union with hookers and blackjack. In fact, forget the union. I'm sorry, Desert Fox. I won't do it again. Hey, VRS Davison. As long as it's not US politics, I can listen. Hellfreezer, did you watch Black Mirror? I've only seen 2 episodes, and I always forget what they're called. I want to say... Wait, is it Be Right Back? Is that it? Be Right Back. That's the one, yeah. Be Right Back. I'll scroll down there so I'm not showing any pictures from it. With Domhnall Gleeson, I always think of him as Thingy Weasley. But yeah. Was it Bill Weasley or Charlie Weasley? Oh, he's one of the Weasleys. Like that one. And the other one I saw was USS Callister, which was interesting. Didn't really watch any of the others. And the new one I don't really fancy because it's a choose your own adventure type thing. And yeah, if I'm playing games, by all means, I'll choose my own adventure. But if I'm watching TV or a movie, do your job. That's what you're paid to do. You tell the story. Heather Miller, which state? I'm sorry. What's the context there? I don't follow. Right. Right, I've got this up just so I can do any searching and while we're chatting, so I can just check any details. But I'll leave that there. Okay, let's just get the edges around here. You know, I was kind of thinking, if you took the technology from, I'm talking about Black Mirror, from Be Right Back to create shiny new replica bodies, and the technology to replicate people's personalities seemingly exactly from the USS Callister, you could create perfect duplicates. I sense a sequel. Bioshock Remastered. I don't think I've ever played Bioshock. I was playing Beat Saber earlier. They've made a couple of updates to it recently. But that pop, that was just my bottle of water. Johanna Bloomberg, I picked up watching Sherlock this week on Netflix. You know, I thought that show started really, really good. I mean, they've got a great cast in it. But there's a few things I didn't like. Now, I don't know how far you are, so I'll avoid giving any spoilers. But I really dislike their take on Moriarty. With a fiery passion. Good actor. Didn't like the take on it, though. And there's, I thought in the final season, well, I'm assuming it's the final season, it got a little bit ridiculous. But I really do enjoy Sherlock Holmes. So I was a little confused there. I just wanted to be sure I wasn't ignoring you. Heather. Are you liking it so far? I mean, it's a little brutal in parts, but I thought it was an overall enjoyable film, especially with whatchamacallum from Downton Abbey. Played Matthew Crawford. I can't remember his name. You know the fellow I'm talking about. Matthew Crawley, not Crawford. Well, I'm going to be on the lookout trying to find decent films to watch this weekend. Right. I think I might do this jacket red. I'll add some detailing to the face later. You know, Fraser, you say you love chocolates. How can I send you mine? Oh no, I've got plenty of chocolates. More than I probably should have bought for the holiday season. But that's my excuse. You see, I go out shopping and I think, oh, it's Christmas. Because it's Christmas time, I'll just get this. Then I go to another shop and I'll just get this and that and that. It's Christmas. I'm allowed. It's Christmas. So then I end up with a cupboard and a refrigerator full of biscuits and chocolate. Yeah, you know, I was watching that and it took me quite a while to realise that the village elder, the leader with the beard, was actually Michael Sheen. I thought, that guy looks so familiar. But it took me a while to realise who it was. You regret it £50 later. Well, yeah, I kind of regret it immediately afterwards, but it doesn't stop me eating more the next day. Red. Let's try red, see how it looks. It is Christmas, so we'll go with kind of Christmassy colours. It's Christmas Day, sir. Christmas Day? No, that was a few days ago. Shut up. You know, like Cadbury's chocolate. No, I'm quite fond of Cadbury. Although the Kinder eggs are quite nice, the chocolate in those. In fact, the only chocolate I've ever found that I really disliked was Hershey's, or rather, specifically Hershey's Kisses. Because I tried like the cookies and cream bar, and they were alright. But I found the Kisses, well, I won't say what they tasted like, but it wasn't pleasant. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Do the jacket red, see how it looks, and then I'll do the... I think that's like a plaid looking vest. So we'll do that green. Then I'll do his hair purple. I'm joking about that part. Every now and again, and this is going to sound really sad and pathetic, but why not? If I see it's like a superhero thing, like Superman, Supergirl, Batman or something like that on it, I'll pick them up just to see what the toys are like. And I swear to God, the ones for the boys are absolutely awful because they kind of do this. Oh, these ones are boys, the pink ones are girls. You know that nonsense. And the superhero girls ones had way better toys in them because I can't remember what the boys were like, but they were rubbish. And the superhero girls ones had these kind of cool little statuettes. I got one. In fact, I might even have it somewhere still. A little statuette of Supergirl. But it's purely for scientific purposes, you understand. Not because I'm a big kid at heart. Ooh, let me clean that up when I'm done. Okay, I need to learn how to use the shortcuts. Make things easier. There we go. Carly, as someone with purple hair, firstly, well done. I think you should go for it. I'm not sure how old Chuckles would appreciate the purple hair, but you never know. Clean up these edges a little. Don't clean them up too much. I really should bring the good mouse down for this sort of thing. Or maybe stop doing it in the living room, doing my... Right. Oh, no, Vampire Venus. I don't really collect the figures, but I can't resist the temptation to pick up these things just to see what the toys are like now and again. Especially if it's something I'm actually interested in. Oh, for heaven's sake, switch back to the brush shuffle. There we go. Although I do seem to have inadvertently started collecting sunglasses. There's a local store, I don't know if I mentioned it, may have, called Burton's Menswear. Been there for as long as I can remember, actually. So it's a little bit heartbreaking that it's closing down. And they'd marked their sunglasses down from £12 a pair, which is not too bad for a decent pair of sunglasses, to £2. So I now have 6 pairs of sunglasses. Louise Ann Davis got purple hair. Okay, I've got 2 purples. Do we have a blue and a green? And if I can have a silver to complete my collection. Don't ask what collection. Not important. Well, thank you, Night Raven. That's a a very lovely image. Grey Warden, I appreciate that, but the fact is the TIFU stories just aren't getting the views, and it's too much hassle to keep doing them. The people on that subreddit, well, I've explained before, their views on copyright differ greatly from mine, in that I believe in it, they don't. Okay, that's not fair to say. They just think they get ownership over people's material, and I think the author retains ownership. Well, I'll do them if I can get subscriber ones, or if I can find another source of embarrassing stories. Right, I think that's not too bad for the jacket right now. We'll leave all the layers separate. I might play with the colour a little bit. Right, let's go with green on the vest. Let's try that, see how it looks. Set the colour so it looks okay. Right, boring generic question. Do you guys have plans for New Year's? Heather Miller, I have a feeling I'll end up saying something to get me kicked out. Well, it's not too likely. I've only gotten grumpy with one person in chat, and I don't think that person even realizes I was grumpy, and the reason I was grumpy with them is because they made another member of chat feel like they were unwelcome. And that really, really bothered me. I'm not going to be naming names, but I suspect they might know who they are. Yes, Jacqueline, that's what I mean. Well, my New Year's Eve will consist of a trip down to the dermatologist at the local hospital to disappoint them, and hopefully they'll be able to do something about my psoriasis. And get back. I'll be making videos. I'll have to get the January 1st and 2nd videos made and uploaded. But when I'm done with that, I'll go round to my sister's house to see the New Year end with my family. And of course, I'm sure the dog will want head pats and tummy rubs. He always does. Okay. Oh, let's be bold. People. My friend, sorry to hear that. That sucks. I'm gonna mess this up. Prenick. Hello, Prenick. Are people gambling right into the new year? I mean, I suppose it's an adventurous way to end the year. Not at all, Grey Warden. As long as you're having fun, that's all that matters. Bye, Jacqueline. Safe trip. Louise, hey, can you do a Donald Duck impression? I just finished 2 days of making videos with occasional bouts of song in between, so I'm not really feeling up to doing Donald Duck right now. But yes, I can kind of sort of do Donald Duck. Everybody can. Hope I don't get too sleepy. I have plans to make a big dinner and watch stuff. I watched Upstart Crow earlier before I started doing this, but I've still got the new episode of Sabrina to watch. and possibly other things. I mean, I can do voices, but I think Donald Duck's Donald Duck's one that's pretty rough in the all vocal cords because he's a duck. Well, I hope you're making a lot of tips on New Year's, at least, Mara. I hope you're making a lot of tips in general, but I hope you're doing especially well in New Year's. Why do I keep saying New Year's as if there's more than one at a time? Oh, look at me taking my time, but all careful, like I'm actually going to leave his hair purple. You know what, if this turns out well, I might actually end up putting it on a shirt. Yeah, it's meant to be more purple than blue. I might need to make some adjustments to it. Ooh, mustn't forget the eyebrows. Well, actually looks more purple as it is. As a kid, for some reason. As a kid, for some reason, I never understood. For some reason, I understood what Donald was saying. I wonder why I lost that ability. Nowadays, subtitles. Oh. Well, that sounds like a perfect way to spend New Year's Eve. Night Raven. There's also Chinese New Year around here, so technically there's more than one. Well, yeah, I guess that's true. And you're having multiple New Years across time zones, so... excuse me, some of us are talking to our subscribers on YouTube, Mr. Loud Engine Person. How rude. I really enjoyed the show of Mara talking about the chilling adventures of Sabrina. I thought they could have went a little further than they did with it, but at the same time I was also surprised by how far they did go with it. There was times I was thinking, no, they're not gonna. Oh, they're gonna do that. Oh, they did that. I will come out there and I will kick your buttocks, sir. Stop it. No, some prat with a loud engine outside, not my tummy. I ate many donuts before I started streaming, so I'm not really that hungry at the moment. And they weren't very good donuts. Got them out of the local Tesco, and they used to do really nice donuts, but lately they've been a bit overcooked. And some indigo. I have no idea. Does anybody know what colour Charles Dickens' eyes were? I suspect brown, just kind of judging by the shade there. So I guess pink. Behave yourself. don't know who Sabrina is. Louise Davis, we're talking about, right. Do you remember Sabrina the Teenage Witch with Melissa Joan Hart back in the 90s? Right, well, that was based on a character that started in Archie Comics. And many years later, they did another comic book called The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which was a much darker and more sinister take on it. I mean, as sinister as the show is, the comic is even more so. And Netflix decided, after Riverdale, a more darker, serious take on Archie proved to be popular, they'd do an adaptation of the Chilling Adventures comic. And so it is literally just a version of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, where the family are devil worshippers. His eyes are a little... Yeah, that's better. I was going to say more human looking, but let's not lose our heads. Let's try something else on his jacket, so we'll put an adjustment layer on there. Adjustment, hue saturation. Click down onto that, and we'll play about. The W2. How old are you? I'm as old as the woman I feel. So, nothing. I have no age. Also 37. Hello, lemon grabloids. Well, that's the thing. It kind of does talk to her a bit before it actually becomes a cat. But I think Salem. No, as I understand it, I'm gonna get a little bit nerdy on you here. Just relax. It'll be over quickly. In the original Sabrina comics, the cat didn't talk. Then on the TV show with Melissa Joan Hart, it did talk, and it was such a sassy little bitch. And actually, the cat kind of replaced Cousin Ambrose, because with the idea of it being a warlock that was trapped in cat form as a punishment. Because Cousin Ambrose was, a warlock who was being punished. And it was so popular that they actually kind of retconned the comics. So from then on, Salem did talk in the comics, and he actually does talk in the Chilling Adventures comic book. Just speaks regularly. But for some reason on the show, only Sabrina seems to be able to understand him. But that being said, we did see other familiars on the show speaking, so it does leave open the possibility, and we do know that Salem can actually speak, because we heard him when he was in his goblin form. Here's hoping it'll work. However, you're way younger than 37. I'm not sure why I'd lie to you, but no, I'm 37. Very happy to have made it this long. Hopefully I'll make at least another 37 years. Where was I? Salem, goblin form. Yeah. I think they thought, oh, we can't have the cat talk. That'd be just too ridiculous. But I submit to you, makers of Sabrina. There's a show out there, I don't know if you guys have seen it, called Midnight Texas. Right, now I could go on for a bit about that as well. But in that show, there is a talking cat. And I swear to God, I had tears in my eyes during one scene where this cat was talking about how much he loved and missed his previous owner. If they can do that and move me to tears, you can have a sassy little bitch of a cat. I definitely recommend it, Heather Miller, but it's much more intense. A lot to enjoy about it, though. Well, apparently Louise Davis thinks I sound like a rambunctious scamp. Or an old man. One of those two, but apparently I don't sound my age. Huh, that's nearly an hour. Time just whooshed by. I think I want his jacket to be pink. Right, Mara Freeman. I haven't seen season 2 yet, so no spoilers. In fact, I did. Right, I signed up for Now TV earlier because there's a bunch of shows I want to watch, and they have them available. The price wasn't too bad. I quickly unsubbed from it because I can't. I like to have my Netflix, my Amazon Prime Video, and whatever else. In this case, it would have been Now TV. I want to watch them through the desktop, and I'll install the apps on my phones because it's better on a mobile device. But usually watching on desktop, I like to just watch through the browser. Now TV doesn't allow you to do that, so I cancelled it. But I'm kind of stuck with it for the 2-week trial anyway, so I may as well use it. The W2, I'm pretty sure she was talking to me. Louise, so you think I sound like a young, rambunctious scamp? See, the thing is, I would like to get Hulu. I've been trying to get Hulu for many, many years, but they've yet to release it outside the US. Then Netflix, Netflix is, I love Netflix, but it kind of annoys me how inconsistent its catalogue is in different countries. I know they've said their goal is to make sure they have a catalogue that's more alike than unalike in different countries, but it just annoys me that I can't get Longmire and it's a Netflix show. Yeah, but anyway, as I was saying, I think Now TV does have Midnight Texas. I'm not sure if they've got season 2 up yet though. I really enjoyed the books that it's based on, the Midnight Crossroads books, and I like it even more because it's in the same universe as the Southern Vampire Mysteries with Suki Stackhouse. You know, the books that True Blood was based on. That's for those who don't know. Oh, hi, Oscar. Well, bye, Oscar, rather. Thanks for stopping. I'll see you next time. I may do another chat over the weekend. If not, it'll be some point in the new year. Well, that's the thing. I haven't been able to watch the final 2 seasons. They're on Channel 5 at some point, but I don't watch terrestrial TV anymore. A rambunctious what? A rambunctious young scamp. A ne'er-do-well, a scallywag. Johanna Bloomberg, speaking of age, when I started school this autumn, in this little group of ours, when I announced my age 26, a 20-something girl was like, no way. I took it as some kind of compliment. But when asked about it, she said, you're so short. How old did she think you were? A precocious 12-year-old? Had graduated very early? No, you shouldn't feel bad about watching stuff on Netflix, Shawsy, if it helps get you through difficult times. I mean, I marathoned season 4 of Gotham over the course of like a week, not long ago. Got really good, that show. I don't know what happened. It was kind of mediocre for like 2 seasons. Then it's like the people restricting the show and calling the shots above the producers just went, ugh, you know what, fine, do whatever you want, just keep the ratings up. Then it just became this weird, bizarre, off-the-wall thing, and it just got better every season since. It's great. How many people are in here now, anyway? 21. That's not bad. I wasn't expecting too many people in for a sudden stream on a Friday night. That's not bad at all. Scallywag. Well, I think the word scallywag still gets used a lot in England. Not so much up in Scotland, but... do you have Stranger Things on your Netflix? Yeah, as a rule, if it's a show that was made by Netflix all along, it should be available worldwide. The thing about Longmire, I'm shaking my fist as I say this, is that it initially wasn't a Netflix show. It was cancelled. I think after season 3 it was cancelled. Then Netflix picked it up for its final 2 seasons. But because of annoying international distribution deals, which I think when it was cancelled should have been null and void, but I'm assuming it's because they were made with the production company, not the distributor. That's probably why. We can't get it in the UK. I think Channel 5 has it in the UK, and they don't seem to have it available to stream online, which is pretty much how I watch everything these days. So it's a Netflix show, but I'll have to wait till that deal expires so I can get it on Netflix, which is annoying. Although it is good in some ways, because we do get like shows like iZombie, we get them on a week-by-week basis. And The Good Place, the same, we get that on a week-by-week basis as well. So we end up actually having them a little bit ahead of when they show up in the US, because they show up other places in the US. Good night, Joe. I appreciate that you came in to say good night, so hello and goodbye. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Well, I hope the doggies are okay, Louise. Had a nice walk. Yeah, I think iZombie, I'm not sure when it's back, but it's entering its final season soon. The thing about that show is I was really, really wary of it to begin with, because I'd read the comic book that they say it's based on, but they're kind of talking out their bum, because it really isn't. But it turned out to be a pretty good show in its own right. seem to be ignoring old Chuckles here. Okay, let's give his hair a sensible colour. Was it that one? Yes, it was. That's a little better. Sure, see, I do that too sometimes. When I put a game on, just put something on to keep me entertained, podcast or something. I've been watching those comics explained videos recently. Listening to those comic explained videos. Yeah, that can be a really awkward thing when you work serving booze. If someone really young comes in, they're like, "Oh, I'm in my 30s." I said, "Well, you don't look at me, so I need to see ID." Although in my experience, most of the older people just kind of laugh it off. Unless they don't have their ID, in which case you're apparently the worst person in the world. What's the typical or traditional New Year's Eve and day like in Scotland? Hell, I swear it used to be a lot more festive in my younger days. Maybe I'm misremembering, but it definitely seemed like people went in for it more when around about the 80s and 90s. But for me, it's just New Year's Eve, pop round to the family, spend an hour or so around there, just kind of see the bells in, the ringing in of the new year. Then I come back home and I just have a quiet day. Make dinner, put something, obviously after I sleep, I don't make dinner right away, but then pop something on to watch. Still not sure what I'm having for dinner. I'll go shopping tomorrow and I'll pick something then. Let's delete the demon eyes, and we'll give the man brown eyes. Try that one. Oop, that's the wrong colour. Try again. I'm 5'10"-ish. It's been a while since I measured myself, but 5'10", maybe a teeny weeny bit more. Well, I keep looking at the weather and they say we've got snow on the way. I mean, last year we had this thing they called the Beast from the East, and there was massive amounts of snow. I'm hoping we don't get that this year, but part of me is because I got a new snow shovel I want to test out. At least when it's raining, you can walk about without falling on your bum. Oh, it's quite chilly here actually right now. I've got the heating on. Oh, you're not that short. 5 foot 8 inches. Yes, discard those hidden layers. Good for nothing hidden layers. Now we'd like a levels adjustment there. We'll start with that, see how it goes. Oh, interesting bit of trivia. The reason we all associate snow with Christmas is because of him. This fella right here. Apparently when he was younger, like most of his early Christmases, up till he was like 8 years old or something, it snowed. So it kind of stuck in his mind that, well, it snows on Christmas Day. And that's why he always wrote it as snowing in his stories. Oh, I do remember a few white Christmases, but it's a very rare thing. At least around these parts. Bad weather, sure. Snow after Christmas, but yep. Oh, that's a lot better. In fact, that jacket looks way better. Actually, you know what I might do? I might go back a couple of steps. Undo the flattening of those layers. Yeah, we'll go there. And we'll do the adjustment on top of that. Just so I can keep playing about with things. Right. Yeah, well, I learned that from QI, so I'm assuming it's true. Now, he's a little too pale then. Let's add a bit more skin. Then I'll go and I'll put a little bit of variation in here. Right. Okay, I need new layer, that's fine. Black hair. No, I think he probably had brown hair. Yeah, I'm not sure. What I think. Well, they didn't really have color photography back then. I don't know if there's any paintings of him. No, I get the impression he had brown hair. I fall asleep every night with Hellfreezer on. Well, fair enough. Hellfreezer tends to fall asleep alone every night. Well, actually, that's not true. Sometimes I've got Stephen Fry next to me, or Neil Gaiman, or William Gaminara, J.S. Stenning. Occasionally a woman, but you know. Yeah, I'll have to adjust the hair colour. I'm not quite happy with it there. forgot what I was doing for a second there. Right. Do I have my fancy brushes in here? No, I do not. No, I don't. I'll need to. I'll do it another time. I did have makeup brushes for doing stuff like this, but I don't know what they are, so I'll just use. Let me. Has that one will speckle a little bit? That might work. Okay, Grey Warden. Hope you can sleep better tonight. Well, if you're talking about colorization, Louise, then I do this as a hobby, and I generally do it for free for people on Reddit. I did one earlier, actually. Picture of somebody's grandma and grandpa. But somebody mentioned I'm single. It was somebody hitting on me or something. Heather Miller, is there a Mrs. Hellfreezer? Ha! No. Maybe one day, but not today. Although I will say I don't usually feel that lonely, but something about this time of year, there's been a couple of moments I was like, I wish I had a girlfriend. But it passes. Why does he have glitter on his cheeks? I'm adding a splash of colour to his cheeks. We're not done yet. We go in and we apply a major blur. And it creates like subtle variation. I'm still not happy with that skin tone. Let's see if we can adjust it. It's nearly there, it's just not quite right. Well, the fact of the matter is, it's just a matter of practice, Louise. You know, you start with one and you get better and better, and then you're fine. Our Valentine's Day is Singles Awareness Day for you then? And I barely even noticed the passing of Valentine's Day. Well, it should just be a subtle change. I think that's nearly there. Right, I'm happy with those, so I'll flatten and I'll work on his hair a bit because it still doesn't look quite right. I want to keep them as actually, you know what, I'll not flatten it just yet. Isn't Valentine's Day just a day for the people you love though? No, I think it's really just a day for greetings cards companies to make money off of you is what it's about. It's an artificial holiday made up to fleece people of their cash. I expect if I ever get a girlfriend, my tone will change rapidly, but we'll see. Right, I'm debating. When I'm done with the hair here, I'm debating doing the back wall. Maybe do it blue? I don't know if it would have been coloured, but I think it'll add a nice contrast to the red. Selling roses and chocolates. Well, Johanna, in some cases, that's the same thing. If you like the Cadbury's roses. Louisa Davis. As well, I've been single for 37 years. So there we go. Right. I am hair. Right, let's try this. Switch to a normal brush. Well, that's meant to be brown, it just makes them look ginger. That's essentially the colour I've already gone. You know, it might actually work better if they all burn too loud. Bye, Mad Honeybee. Thanks for stopping in. Mara Freeman, how and why did you come out with the name Hellfreezer? I needed a screen name for the IMDb back in the days when they had message boards. I should have missed parts in that beard. Let's do them now. So I just played around with words until I came up with Hellfreezer, and I think it was probably influenced by John Constantine, Hellblazer, which I hadn't read at the time. But I liked the sound, so I eventually came up with Hellfreezer and I thought that sounds pretty cool. So that became my screen name there. And when it came time to create a YouTube channel, I have read the Hellblazer comics now. I've read them all and really, really enjoyed them. And I decided, well, let's go with Hellfreezer. I've been using it online for like a decade or so by that point. I'm waiting for True Scary Valentine stories, Hellfreezer. Well, I'll see if I can line a few dates up at Halloween. I'm sure I'll have some stories after that. Maybe join Tinder. Well, I did actually join... Was it? Yeah, it was Tinder. And there was another app I signed up for earlier in the year. And because I was feeling pretty good about myself earlier in the year because I was looking pretty decent. Most of the psoriasis was gone. So I was like, hey... I'm feeling quite handsome. I was like, I'm feeling quite handsome and sexy again. I think I'm going to go find myself a lady friend. And so I signed up, and I just felt so judgy with those apps, so I uninstalled them within like an hour. No, the dates from Hell videos are, Johanna, those are the ones. I'm always on the lookout for stories to go into them. Comics? What? Max asks, what kind of person would you describe yourself to be? Like, you don't fit into a stereotype, and I think that's probably the best way to put it. I'm certainly not a stereotype. I just try to do my thing, whatever it may be. Try to work out what my thing is. But yeah, I don't really feel that many labels do apply to me. Not fully anyway. I'm just being myself. Thanks, Mihai. Oh yeah, I was gonna clean the beard up here. There we are. Around there. Voltage doing you full. What am I doing wrong here? Okay, you realize you are a brush, not an eraser, right? Okay, I'm gonna flatten that. Yep, do that. Then I'll clean this up. There we go. It should make it easier. There we go. This would be his tie. I'm not sure if it will have a colour different from his... I'm not sure if it'd be a different colour or if it's just black. Yeah, it looks dark. It could be blue or something, or red. Okay, let's see. Yeah, well, the way I felt when I was looking at was it Tinder and I can't remember. I started with a B, whatever this other app was. It basically there's very little information about the people on there, so it basically boils down to bang won't bang, and then they're of course looking at you and deciding bang won't bang, and it just feels hollow. Which is, hey, it's great if that's what you're after. I mean, kind of cut to the chase, so you get what you want. But Miss Cleo, behave yourself, or you'll be in for a spanking. Let's see. Behave, can you imagine if we could all be on speaker or mic talking I don't think Hellfreezer would get a word in edgewise. I have considered doing something about getting people onto chat. What I was thinking is, what we do is, I'd pick a subject, perhaps Black Mirror or something, anything, and I would get people on, say, Google Hangouts. I think that's probably the best way. Google Hangouts is still active, isn't it? And they could just use microphones. If they wanted to be on camera, they could. That would be up to them. I don't go on camera myself, so I wouldn't be expected. I just wasn't sure how to do it. I watch other streamers who do it, like, they'll invite guests on, but then there's people, if they want to pay a donation during stream, they can get on that way. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest with you, but it's an idea worth fleshing out. I'm certainly open to feedback regarding it. Mara Freeman, any pet peeves, Hellfreezer? Yeah, I don't think we have enough time remaining on the stream to get into that one. There's also Discord. I did sign up for Discord. There is a Hellfreezer Discord. I just don't know what to do with it yet. Okay, scrolling back through to make sure I haven't missed anything. Maybe it's a bow tie. Yeah, probably is a bow tie that he's wearing. Bring that back up, actually. You just can't see it for his beard. About aquatics, I'm a bit late. What's your favourite paranormal story you've read so far? Ooh, they all kind of blur together after 3 years. Let me think. Is there anything that jumps out? Can't even think. There's a certain type I do enjoy. I like the ones that generally they focus more on a family history. They take place more in the past. Those appeal to me a little bit more. It's not to say I don't like them at all, because obviously I still use them, but they appeal to me a bit more in the sense that there's more of an in-depth narrative to the overall story. You learn more about the people, you learn more about the history of the building, the hospital, whatever, and it fleshes the story out, makes everything feel much more real to as both a narrator and to the audience, I think. But I can't really think of a specific story that jumps out. Miss Cleo, it is currently 10 minutes to midnight. That reminds me, there was an Orson Welles documentary and film on Netflix I've been meaning to watch. I'll get around to it eventually. Maybe do that New Year's Day, that's an idea. 5 hours ahead of the US. Do I have that double clock thing still up? I sometimes do. Yeah. That's clock one. That's basically the US, although depending on where you are in the US. Okay, fine. If you want a pet peeve, right. You know how when you're waiting to cross the road and there's nothing coming but one car? So you're waiting for them to pass you by because there's literally no reason for them to slow down or stop. Nothing behind them, they pass by, then you cross. They decide to be gallant and stop the car to let you cross. Then look at you like an idiot when you're wondering why they're stopping. That's a pet peeve of mine. Well, it's only 10 to 12 over here right now, but I'll probably up a little bit later. I have been going to bed earlier and getting up earlier. I was having the problem of going to bed too late and sleeping too late. Then I had the opposite problem of going to bed too early and getting up too early. I think I've just about got it sorted. Right, I was going to try a burn tool to darken his hair a little bit. See what that does for us. Pardon me. Oh, that's too much. Usually set that to about 25%. That's better. Well, that helps a lot. Right, give this the final adjustments. Starting to get a little bit of a headache. I might need to go take some painkillers in a bit. Let's play around a little bit, see what the results I get are. Reset that. Are you stressed or dehydrated? Me? No. Just, probably a little tired, actually. Well, I'll have a wee rest and take some painkillers, and I'll probably play some video games. Don't know what, but something. Okay, let's do some actual serious adjustments. There. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like I say, I've been busy all day, and then again, I only got up about 13 hours ago. Been up too long. Yeah, I was going to give the wall in the background a bit of a I'm going to see how it looked with a bit of blue, see if it helped bring out the rest of the colours. Just something light. We'll go with that one. No, I think that might actually be that I've had the heating on for a few hours, so it's maybe actually starting to bother me now. I'll turn it off in a little bit. No, Miss Cleo, this is the entertainment one in the living room. My production machine's up in my bedroom. We'll generously call it an office, but in my bedroom. And that's where I've got most of my programs on. This one, we'll be asking for software. Well, this runs Windows 10, which I do like, apart from the forced updates. I like it otherwise. And I'm currently using the most up-to-date version, well, relatively up-to-date version of the Creative Cloud. I think there's still updates to be installed. Well, I must have turned that off, but yeah, there's probably still updates to be installed. Well, that's what the stream's for. My brain's kind of just chilling here. I'm alright, don't worry. Let's get the big areas filled in and we can clean out when we're done. Hello, I suck at gaming. I'm not bad, yourself? Hope you're having a pleasant evening. I had a very rude comment on a video earlier. Saying how rude it was to steal stuff from Reddit and make money off of it. So I calmly explained to this person that that is not what goes on in this channel. Right, just wanted a little bit of a hint of colour. Right, I've missed a couple of bits here, so all of that'll be fine. Ooh, I think that's the rain on outside from what I hear. Hear the pitter patter against the window, which actually reminds me I need to give the windows a bit of a clean this weekend. If the rain stays off, if it doesn't, then well, then I'll just have to leave it to another day. Meep meep. Don't know if the person responded to it. Can't even find that link. There it is. Dashboard. Right, getting to see behind the curtain here now. Oh yes, there he is. What's the point of stealing shit off Reddit to attempt to make money off of? Isn't that super scummy? Like, he doesn't pay attention to the part in the video where I thank everybody for letting me use their stories. Anyway. Some people are just go out of their way to be rude to you. It's really unnecessary. Well, I think old Charles is just about done here. I might have another go at his face. I'm not quite happy with the skin tone. Looks more like zombie Charles Dickens. Right, so... Oh, I know, but I always tell myself I'm not going to respond, but every once in a while I'm weak, and I do. Oh, I think all kids are little monsters now and again. I certainly was. Something about this just doesn't work. Let's try curves adjustment. I think that actually does what I need. Maybe, just about. Don't want it to be too dark. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I'll save this just in case I ever need to use it in a video or something. working on something last time, wasn't I? Can't remember which one it was. Was it that one? Yeah, I think it was that one. Maybe. Mara Freeman message retracted. She's probably cursing again. Make sure you soothe your throat. Oh, well, yes. Currently in the middle of being slightly sick. See, the thing is, I got antibiotics that really did help. Well, I'm not sure if I might need another course of them. We'll see. I'm okay right now, though. I'm just managing things. Bloody eraser again. I'm resting. I'm eating smaller meals. Plenty of honey. I got some ginger tea today. Apparently that's meant to help. Johanna Bloomberg thinks that she's old at almost 27. Well, I never. I got to tone down that blue in those eyes. That's a bit too intense. Oh, that's a cute name for a dog, Shawsey. That is what I like about my channel. You've got quite a wide range of people watching. You've got the young whippersnappers like Johanna, and the old farts like myself. Heather, yeah, that's my dad when he was young. Much younger. A rare picture of him without a beard. Don't know what I pressed there, but temporarily navigated away from chat. I think we're okay now. Louise ended, that's alright, Louise. Nobody's ever flirting with old Hellfreezer. It's fine. I always assume people aren't as by default. Which means if someone ever actually is flirting with me, I won't realise it. This is really just a lot of footery little bits trying to... This doesn't mean the fence. Probably need some light brown on there to kind of blend in with the paint's flaking off. Yeah, Johanna, that's how Let's Not Meet stories start. She kept staring at me, then she mumbled something about soulmates. Oh, goodness. Yes, the parrot. I think that was more about shocking me than flirting. I think I'll finish up this fence and then we'll maybe wrap up for the night. That helps. Right, I think we'll wrap it up there for tonight, folks. And I thank you all for coming in and joining me, keeping me company for a couple hours. That's just over 2 hours. If we don't count the 10 minutes I sat there talking to myself because the mic wasn't on. Just not sure when I'll be streaming again next. Probably sometime in January. Unless I stream again. What's today's date? Oh, go away. It's 29th. Unless I stream later today, I'm not sure. But it'll probably be sometime in January. Okay, so I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.